I came across one of these little dump controllers on eBay out of China, very cheap, 60-80 volts relay module, voltage detection, 30 amp relay this one has. That's the seller there, and the cost was around 16 euros delivered. Now you can see quite a few of them on eBay, they all look the same, and the price variation, I don't understand that, but they were averaging out about 16 to 20 euros. Whereas if you look at the ones from the States, they have a sort of a white cover on them. They could be costing me anything up to 50, 60 euros by the time you have them in and pay duty and that. So this was worth a punt. So I've just set it up there on a small bit of a board. I drilled a few holes there at the back and put some spacers to keep it up off the table, just in case it needs any ventilation. If that's not sufficient, I'll just cut a bigger one off it, and I'll probably drill a few holes in the side of this cover, because it's going to be internal anyway. I don't know yet whether there will be a build-up of any heat from the relay. Now this one here has a 30 amp relay in it. I could be dumping 8 to 10 amps, so I don't know whether I trust these Chinese relays at 30 amps, so 10 amps would be a third of it. So what I want this for is, I have an 80 amp solar panel outside the window facing south of the bedroom, which tops up 110 ampere hour AGM battery. I use that then for lights and topping up the phone and charging cameras, and can run the TV from it if I need it. And but what I'm finding is in the summertime, because we're facing south, by noon the battery is full. So I have one of these EcoFlow, what do you call them, battery stations, is it? I could be using up the excess solar that's going to waste, because the charge controller, once the battery is full, is shutting down. So there are several hours of wasted energy. So my intention now is to connect this up to the battery and to use the leads that come off the EcoFlow. And if there's any excess, let it be topping up the battery station. That's the idea. I have made it portable because I can use it in other situations as well. I've sort of standardized with the SAE connectors. I have an adapter from that to go on to the M4C's connectors for the EcoFlow, so that's fine. I'll use the these eyelets cables to connect to the battery. Now I have two sets here, and there's a fuse here, which is fine. I can match the fuse, probably put in a 15 amp. But again, I'm finding this situation where you have to watch the SAEs. If I line that up now, I'm finding that I have positive connecting to negative, I'm cross polarity. Whereas if I use the other one, she's fine. I did another video about this business with the SAEs. You have to be careful all the time. But I'd probably be using this one, which is longer. So I'm going to have to I'll be using this lead here. I got a pair of them. They're called SAE reverse polarity adapters. When that's connected, it sorts out the problem. So it's just something I have to watch. That's her with the cover off now. That's a 30 amp relay, and these are that's the button for the settings, and this is for to accept or enter, whatever. I'll set that up later now. There are the connections there now. I think it's right. So we'll be coming in here from the battery into the unit. I'll put my settings, max and min, and off out to the dump. I did a little diagram here where I'm coming in with the SAE. Now again, I said that was positive, but in some cases here On these ones I used they're negative, but anyway, you have to watch that. I've said enough about that. I was going to put a terminal there, but it was so easy to just use the SE tails. So I come up with a positive in to the power source, in to the power source as shown there. I've looped across to the sensing, with the voltage sensing. In my case I'm using 12 volts for the whole system. This is the negative common for both of them. Supply the sensing voltage. Also looped from that one over here. Supply the COM here in case you want to use the normally closed of the relay or the normally open. I'll be using the normally open. So I came here from the normally open off out to my dump and brought the negative back in to connect up with the negative here on the COM. So that's what I've done. I think that's the right way. This has taken me several hours. I was at it all last night to try and get this relay business working, the little light coming on and off. It's not very clear how it all operates. All I have to go by is this bit of information. I don't know. I've been through it a few times trying to understand. But I think I have it now, and I'll just demonstrate it by, this battery is quite small, but she's now sitting at 12.8. I'll just plug in the battery charger. I have it set for it to operate. Yeah, I have it set to operate. That little green light is on now, and she's reading 14.2. So I'm going to disconnect the battery charger again now. It's the only way. She's disconnected now. She's still got the little green light on. I have this set for 13 at the moment. She just seems to need to dip beyond it. She needs to. There she's gone now at about that. Yeah. So that's now working. Sorry about the angle here. It's, as I say, I spent all night last night trying to figure it out and thinking about it, and looking at a few YouTube videos on settings of different types. I couldn't find any information on this particular model, but I went looking at was it the G4s or whatever, and in the factory they were setting it up, and I'm just trying to copy that. Right, I've disconnected the battery again. Now I'll let her come down. So I use P1 and P3. And I'll go through them now. So if we press and hold down the enter button for at least 3 seconds, we come to the program page. And now with the set, we can flick between them. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4 programs. So we want one. Press enter quickly, and we're in now. For the first screen, the T1, I'm leaving it all 0, 0. And as you press, you go along them all. Right, next one now will be the next screen, and I'm leaving that at 1. So you just flick between them all again until they highlight. Now at any time, if you wanted to change, with the one that's flashing, you just press the enter button and go up. Back to 1. So I'm leaving it at that. So that's that screen. And now again with the set button, I go to the next one. Now this is D5, and what this is, if you want the display to turn off after a certain period of time to save a few milliamps, you can set this now. That's set for 5 minutes. The other screens were for seconds, but on this screen, that's 5 minutes. And if you want the screen back on again, you just press the enter button. So that's that's all of program 1. Now to go to program 3, just hold down the enter button for about 3 seconds and go to the set button and move along to number 3. It's the only other program I'm using, and a quick tap here and it brings you to battery reading. Again, with the set, you go in. The first screen will be for the high setting of voltage, which I've set to 14.2. Again, just flick between them all. Now if I wanted to change that to say 14.4, I just, with the enter button, go up. But I'm going to leave it at 14.2. The next screen then will be the low setting. Again, you can flick with the set button between them all, and you can change any one while it's flashing by using the enter key. So I have the low setting at 13.2. This third screen, the function of the third screen is if the display is showing battery voltage slightly different than actual, you can put a plus or minus into it up to, I think, 0.5 volt, and then it goes minus. So you can adjust. I suppose it's like calibrating, but as it turns out, this readout is exactly the same as the batteries, so I'm leaving them all at 0. This delay, you don't have to use it, you could leave it at 0. This is for the sensing voltage, just in case it's fluctuating a bit. Now this one here, which is the final screen, this threw me out for a while because I'll go to the enter button. This high, I put a little hole there and I'd see how it's the relay is activated. But we are at 12.7 volts. So it's low is the setting I should have, and now the relay has gone out. This to me, I would have thought that once you get to the 14.2 volts, you'll be using the high setting and the relay would kick in, and then when she dropped down to the 13.2 volts, she'd click out. But it's the low setting you must have, and that's what's catching me there for a while, until I saw them doing the factory setup. The low is the one. Click again, and we're back to the current battery voltage. That's the setup. As I say, it took me a while. This isn't exactly the easiest thing to understand. I've set up a temporary dump system now, just running through a cigarette lighter onto a USB, and I have a small power bank here made up of 18650 batteries. So I'm going to try now. You can see how that's gone out now. So if I just press this, I get it back. I'll connect the battery charger. Okay, she's up to the voltage now, and we have the little green light on. The relay is operating, and it's charging away. So I could say she's dumping the load now, and that's what I wanted to do. She's come down now to below the 13.2 setting, and the relay is off, and we've stopped charging the power bank. So that works. That's the little portable dump load controller for solar or wind. I think it'll work out fine.